There's a yellow rose in Texas that I am going to see. No other darky knows her, no darky, only me. She cried so when I left her, it like to broke my heart. If I ever find her, we never more will part. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I said good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I know it's a little hot in here, y'all, but we wanted to turn up the temperature just a little bit this morning in order to speak to y'all on an important message: the untimely passing and redeemed resurrection of our old friend Big Tex. Now, like most of you Texans, I'm speaking in tongues, folks. Like most of us here Texans, that before he was cooled by the fireman's hose, Big Tex was baptized by fire. So what we're going to talk about this morning is fire, but not in the normal way we talk about fire.
Condemnation.
Now, I got a 5-point sermon on the glory of fire: ignition, growth, combustion, decomposition, and propagation. There are 5 stages to fire on the molecular and macro scale. Now, we can't see things on the molecular scale, but the macro scale describes things that we can see with the naked... That's PG-13 now. Eye. Stage 1 is eaten, or the initial fire that can be generated by a variety of ignition sources. An external source supplies heat, causing the temperature of a substance to increase. The extent of the temperature change depends on the specific heat of the material.
I can still hear Pastor Oder's raw words echoing in the back of my brain in the compartment only reserved for my religious upbringing. Small though it may be, it goes without saying that I was raised Southern Baptist fully and completely, even though some of my father's Jewish blood runs through my veins. But back to my dunking. Nothing for sin can atone, and not for good I have done. And for my part in this I see, for my cleansing, this is my plea.
I arrived in Texas knowing my fair share of trial and tribulation. My wife and I got here just 1 month before the cataclysm known as Katrina hit our home state of Louisiana. Our love had been run down by other such natural disasters, namely the death of her father, stepfather, and brother in his many years. We were due for a change. We did not think nor want that change to be Texas. It was the red to our blue, the right to our left, and the overdog to our under ones. But that's what happened when opportunity came knocking in the form of Texas.
Hubris! That's why Big Tex had to go, you see. And that's why we have to bring him back bigger and better, better than ever! Now, stage 2 of fires is transition, or fire buildup, you see. This is why we're gathered, to change the physical, mechanical, and thermal properties of our material conditions. More heat causes additional combustion of additional materials which burn, producing dead smoke and toxic gases.
I remember sitting at the top of the baptism and looking nail polish the night before and I'd pastured and pushed and soured and sold, just like I have all my days. And finally, I stormed off to the bathroom to wipe the nail polish clean from my nails. But not my toes. Funny, it was fall, October, when things are supposed to change by falling, and my mother would never see the chip purple toenail polish. I would be wearing closed-toed shoes. But she did, standing over those baptism steps and frowning. Her father, my grandfather, an old Southern Baptist preacher himself, was a special guest of honor that day, and he was there to baptize me. And I was too afraid to look up and across the baptism at Papa, and when I finally did, he looked at me the same way that he always had, concentrated and pensive. And these things never bothered me before, but today they unnerved me. And as Papa's word hand motioned for me to step into the baptism, he spoke about the Lord and finding our way to the Lord and devotion to the Lord, and all I could think about was the tortillas covered in butter and the enchiladas I was going to get to eat as a reward after all this hoopla.
The fire started early in my lower back. 2 herniated discs that took forever to get diagnosed and even longer to recover from. It took a toll on me and my loved ones, which by now had increased twofold in the form of our daughter and son, native Texans born of regional transplants.
Flashover! Whoosh! Flashover and degradation, isn't that wonderful, folks? Now, stage 3 of Big Tex's resurrection is a degradation of what came before, and a new condition, a glorious performative condition, is initiated by flashover. The material body itself bursts into flames in a near explosive manner.
Then the moment before I was made whole again, washed away my sins, my grandfather leans over and whispers in my ear, "Maybe I should hold you under, honey. Make sure it sticks this time."
Separation in 2010, followed by spinal surgery. A sea of narcotic pain medication, and the axe came down in December of 2011. The Big D! I don't mean Dallas. Divorce.
Now, stage 4, decomposition and a fully developed fire means the damage has been done, son!
Yes.
There is no going back! You're a believer now! Know what I mean, Frankenstein? Containing the fire becomes much more important than extinguishing it!
Eyes wide open in the water, nothing but the blood of Jesus.
I embraced everything that there is about recovery. Physical, emotional, and spiritual. If you'd have told me I'd attend one of these big mega churches in Dallas, I'd have called you a liar. But it's exactly what I did. And for the first time in my life, instead of fearing and loathing them, I embrace my fellow hypocrites.
Baptized by fire. That's what Big Tex was, you see. And now he's gonna rise again and spread the word by means of stage 5. Oxidation and fire propagation. In the presence of oxygen, oxidation proceeds rapidly, producing heat, flame, and combustion products for additional materials, leading to the development of new fires.
It wasn't the first time I walked up those steps or down them. And it wouldn't be the first time I took the plunge, nor the first time I regretted it. And it wasn't the first time that I heard the lie behind the lips.
I watched my wife being baptized in February of 2013. We were remarried 10 months later on December 14th. Our children served as the maid of honor and the best man. I hope it's the last time I have to make the plunge, and pray to hear the truth beyond my own lips.
This is why we're gathered, to change the physical, mechanical, and thermal properties of our own material conditions.
The reinvention of Big Tex was a top secret project from the start. Dozens of workers,
Painters
engineers, welders,
and artists.
worked for 8 months to quietly rebuild the world's tallest talking Texan and return him to his home in Fair Park. Aware of the excitement surrounding Big Tex's return, state fair officials purposely chose a company far outside Dallas in order to keep things under wraps.
The men and women sworn to secrecy, sweated the details of facilities and burning San Antonio, determined to bring us the Big Tex of our memories.
People are pretty good at keeping secrets around here.
Said Bonnie Wesley, spokeswoman for the Bernie Chamber of Commerce.
News that the SRO had headed up the project.
Didn't even elicit a mention in the Bell and Star twice a week, local news.
Perhaps the biggest leap of faith came early in the process when Texas seen it.
The company that oversaw Texas' internal framework and mechanics.
Had to petition the city for use of one of its buildings for which it didn't yet have a certificate of occupancy. In order to do so, they had to tell San Antonio officials what they were up to.
The outfit pleaded with the city not to reveal the secret goings-on at the facility.
Which ironically sits just across the street from the even more furtive Texas Cryptology Center.
Run by the U.S. National Security Agency, the NSA.
It wasn't the city's first rodeo to keep things hush, hush.
Not with the NSA.
We do this sort of thing often with our customers who need a certain level of discretion.
Sits Amina Wiggins, spokeswoman for San Antonio's Department of Business Services.
Which issued Texas Scenic's temporary permit.
It really is nothing out of the ordinary for us.
In a commitment to secrecy, workers kept the words Big Tex out of their exchanges and labeling.
Instead, they referred to the project only as
Fried
The black experience was different. I always wanted to be white. They seemed like they were having so much fun with all their money. Who was I? He called me nigger. I wore shades and soaked myself in bleach daily. My mother would tell us, my siblings and I, stories about the stone faces we would encounter, but listening to her rants about people who did not look like us were like sitting in a steam room after playing in the sun for 5 hours. And then one day my shades were broken and I ran out of bleach. A small dark figure handed me a pen and a notebook and told me, "Start writing, child. Your eyes tell me you have so much to say." The State Fair of Texas has a history of racial discrimination dating back to the 1880s. For 78 years, blacks were only allowed in the fair on one prescribed date, complete segregation from other white audiences. The first designated day for African Americans to attend the fair was in 1889 and was called, quote, Colored People's Day. In 1900, Booker T. Washington spoke at, quote, Colored People's Day, and in 1910, quote, Colored People's Day was discontinued, but reappeared in 1936 as, quote, Negro Achievement Day. Set to coincide with the Texas Centennial Exposition, fair officials built a structure called the Hall of Negro Life. Officials touted Negro Achievement Day as a way to recognize the accomplishments and progress of the Negro race in Texas. The Hall of Negro Life was the only building to be demolished after the Centennial celebration ended. I began writing, believing that my words would bring comfort to someone else, but I was separated from the dark figure that once guided me. I was surrounded by much lighter figures that taunted me with ideas of success and took away my notebook. They gave me a book with the words Texas history on top and a script with the words the way of a Texan on bottom. They told me, if you read what we write, you'll be just fine. If you fail to do so, you'll probably have a hard time surviving here. So I gave in. And I forgot about my notebook. I read the script so many times that I no longer needed the paper. And just when I started to believe in the script, I met another dark figure. Juanita Crafts, born in Round Rock, Texas in 1902, was the granddaughter of a slave. She went to college, Prairie View College, or as it is called now, Prairie View A&M. She taught kindergarten and worked as a maid. Juanita Craft joined the NAACP in 1935, and in 1944, just after becoming the first black woman in Dallas County to vote at a public election, she helped enroll the first black student in North Texas State College, or as we call it now, 1955, just 2 years after Big Tex was given the power of speech, the NAACP Youth Council organized a massive boycott of Negro Achievement Day at the State Fair of Texas. Protesters carried signs and chanted, "Stay out! Don't sell your pride for a segregated ride." Miss Craft and those young people who stood by her knew that Negro Day only furthered the aims of segregation and inequality. Her passion galvanized a generation of young folks. She organized 182 branches of the NAACP in 11 years. Her labor, and the labor of those who stood by her, helped lay the groundwork for desegregation, which did not happen at the State Fair until 1967. This dark figure looked like me, talked like me, walked like me, and seemed to share the same struggles I was experiencing. Juanita Craft once said, "I have no natural children. I have adopted the word." When I reached out to touch the hand of the new figure, it was my own.
The new resurrected Big Tex moved to Dallas 2.5 weeks before the fair's opening day.
Between secrecy and Texas Department Transportation restrictions, it had the air of an action movie's covert military operation.
We've got a spot going up I-35 with at least 2 detours.
Roger that, we've got one small truck headed up U.S. Highway 281, another about 35, over.
Tex was bolted in place in Big Tex Circle in a trial run.
Undercover darkness.
On September 11th.
Just 2 days before the fair's opening day, Texas' identity was still under wraps.
Late that night, his face covered with the sheets.
He was wheeled out and erected for real.
Ornamental drapes shrouded him like a shower curtain. The day before the fair opened, excitement was high!
One TV helicopter captured a brief image of Texas veiled form from above.
Then around midday came the winds that would spill the Friday surprise.
Was it just bad luck?
Or could Mother Nature herself not bear the suspense any longer? There he was.
Big Tex!
Smiling.
Big Tex! His painted head sitting atop his broad steel shoulders. Big Tex! His arms stretched out.
He looked like he had before the fire.
Only more.
Light fire?
Tan.
Dark. Mexican.
Hashtag Big Tex-Mex.
Hashtag I see you on the cotton bowl. So Mexican.
Hashtag so diversity equals peace and equal white.
Hashtag Big Tex is a rumor.
Hashtag, if Big Tex was Mexican, he'd be holding jumper cables for his collar.
Hashtag, at least he ain't black.
Hashtag there's only one way to know what race he is. You gotta check his junk.
Hashtag if Big Tex were Mexican, he'd be wearing white Wranglers and ostrich quill boots. Ugh.
Hashtag so extremist progressive liberals run the State Fair of Texas. Lovely.
Hashtag way too tall to be Mexican. Common sense, yo.
Qué irónico. Escogieron a la puertorriqueña del departamento para hacer este monólogo. Como si yo pudiera comenzar a hablarles acerca de la experiencia chicana. Yo solo soy una persona con raíces latinas, una de muchas, una sola voz. No puedo ofrecer mucho, pero solo unas pocas y simples palabras acerca de mi propia experiencia con la feria del estado de Texas. Lo más que me ha encantado acerca de la feria es que unifica a diferentes culturas. Todas las personas en los senderos vienen para ver pájaros exóticos, bailes folclóricos y, lo que es más extraño para mí, exhibiciones de autos. Mayormente yo pienso que la gente viene por la comida frita. Bueno, por lo menos esa es la razón por la que yo voy. Lo que sea que atraiga acerca de la feria, lo importante es que estamos unidos en ese lugar. Somos bienvenidos a los portones celestiales por el mismo hombre, Big Tex, el Gran Tex, como Jesucristo en Río de Janeiro. El nuevo Big Tex sí tiene una piel más oscura. Sí, ¿tú sabes? Big Tex-Mex. El Gran Tex-Mex. ¿Qué es lo que exactamente quiere decir eso? ¿Que él está lleno en enchiladas de queso? Lo dices como si eso fuera un insulto. Lo dices como si la historia de este gran estado haya sido completamente borrada. Lo dices como si ser chicano, mexicano o latino no significase nada. Hay un viejo refrán que se dice, no juzgues el libro por su cubierta. De una forma no estoy de acuerdo. Yo pienso que la cubierta del libro es el comienzo de toda la historia que se va a contar. El nuevo Big Tex tiene una piel más oscura. Tú sabes, de trabajo todo el día bajo el sol. La cubierta de ese libro representa una cultura entremezclada de Texas. Él representa la propia gente que lo construyó, que construyó la feria de Texas. 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 Texas irónicamente significa amigos en el lenguaje de la tribu Cabo. Este país, perdóname, este estado haya establecido en principios tejanos. Así que ¿qué importa si tenemos un vaquero gigante que sirve de ejemplo de la cultura y la historia de este gran estado? Pero qué sé yo. Si yo solamente hago es sentarme allá atrás y controlar las luces. Qué irónico.
Icons, like Big Tex, are objects of veneration, ritual, and response.
They are reproduced widely and placed prominently in both public and private settings.
Icons, like our beloved Big Tex, orient the individual within a context of collective identity, obligation, and power.
Over 4,000 pounds he sits.
You're an unsalted, so we trust him.
But he's blocked off. How can we touch him?
He is perishing. How can we cherish him?
Never seen anything like it.
Neither have I. Neither have I.
Last year's State Fair was all about Big Tex's triumphant return after the fire. For the 15th year running, butter sculptor Sharon Booman created a work of art in a 37-degree refrigerated display case in the Creative Arts Building. And in 2013, the butter sculpture was of the iconic cowboy. It's my representation, Big Tex. Booman says, putting the finishing touches on her butter art. The theme is, Welcome Home, Big Tex. And it's the iconic cowboy like you've never seen him before. He is seated, being welcomed home by children. They've brought him presents. And he's got little butter tears of joy. Because the children are so hearty. And he doesn't have his hat on. I'm giving him a sort of Tom Mix Harry. Just off the range. Booman says, noting the cowl atop the butter sculpture's head. I'm home, and I'm glad to be here.
Don't you just want to break out that baby's arm and rub it on a biscuit? You know what would make this better? Is that a dot pattern on those boots? Oh look, honey, it's Jesus, only butter, of course. Can you see his belt buckle? I remember waiting at his feet. Do you remember? He watched over my first kiss! Voyeuristic. The window's fogging up. I can barely see from here. I want to get a better look. Pour some sugar on that 10-gallon hat!
Tex represents large swaths of historical experience, and he acquires his own histories of appropriation. Icons like Tex bear witness to something that exceeds words.
They offer performative guides for public judgment and action, although not on behalf of a single political idea. Icons are polyvalent. Text interpolates forms of citizenship that can be imitated. He reproduces ideology, communicates social knowledge, shapes collective memory, models citizenship, and provides resources for communicative action.
In 1996, a few years before he passed away, artist Jack Bridges had this to say about the enduring legacy of his creation.
Little did I know in 1952 when I created the Big Tex statue that he would still be standing there today. We'd only intended to put him up for one season. But then thousands of school children started writing into the state fair, asking for Big Tex to come back. And as a result, he is returned to the state fair every year. Big Tex belongs to the children of Texas, but he is not only known in Texas. Big Tex has been written about in Australia, Bangkok, Korea, and around the world. He is an ambassador of goodwill for Texas around the United States and around the world.
The babes are crying. He will comfort them. Salivates at and in his splendor.
Feel the coolness of his forlorn, once burnt brow.
Children gather around the father. Let his angled arms embrace you. Dry your tears.
His body is thine bread.
His condensation is thine relief.
His hat is thine shelter. His boots are thine to fill.
His voice is thine memory. When I think about what these Big Tex tales mean to kids at every age, I think about four things: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Add great imagination into the world and subtract the small thinking. Multiply your resources and divide hard problems into workable solutions. That is what the spirit of Big Tex is all about. Jack Bridges, 1981.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
Sometimes I wonder.
At least 2 per show. And rehearsals.
Well,